Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. This video is an instructional video on how to put together one of the forge kits. It's a do-it-yourself weld together kit that we sell at Bonifabcustom. We're going to go through it step by step, look at all the parts we have in the kit and exactly how to weld it together. Let's get right into it. So we have our bottom plate, 14.5 by 13 3/4, and we're going to put our side plates on and make sure the side plates go on the outside of that bottom plate. We're going to hold it together with a square or some magnetic squares, and we're going to measure that. On the outside should be about 14 7/8, and the top, and then we're going to get our frames front and back and make sure the ground side is on the inside, and we'll also hold that by some magnets, or you can also use some tape. It's just to hold it for tacking. So now that it's all held together, we're going to start tacking the top corners first, all four. And then we're going to tack the bottom corners, all four of them. And then we can start tacking in between them. So now we have some good tacks on there. Make sure the top corners have the best tacks. We don't want that splitting and opening up while we're welding. Then we're going to flip it around and we're going to start fully welding the bottom. Now the process I chose is TIG welding. Now because I have it available and it's a little cleaner for me and I do all my production in TIG welding, but this forge can be welded with TIG, MIG, or stick. It's really up to you. Now the four nuts and bolts are the legs of the forge. Now they come with the kit, but it's really up to you if you want to use them or not. But this is how I put them on. I tack them on both sides and then I weld them on all four corners. Then I unscrew them and I'll flip over the box because I'm going to start fully welding the sides now. So now we have it all fully welded, bottom and sides. We're going to start with putting the refractory blanket, the bottom one, and we'll put that down. Doesn't matter which side. Should fit in perfectly. And then we're going to put our two side blankets on. And we're going to start putting our side bricks on. Make sure that they're sitting down properly and sitting against the refractory blanket. They should fit in pretty freely. So we'll put the 3 on one side and the 3 on the other side. Then we're going to put the bottom bricks on. Now make sure they slide pretty freely. Do not hit them with a hammer. You can knock them in a little bit with a mallet, but if they are tight, you're going to have to grind some off of the sides because we don't want too much stress there. It could cause it to crack. Put that on. And then we're going to get our smaller refractory. It should fit into the top of those bricks. And we're going to put the front and back frame refractory. Now they could be a little bit longer, and what you want to do is just trim it with some scissors or an X-Acto knife. Make sure that they fit and that they're not higher than the frame. So on this, we can see they're a little bit higher, and I'm going to trim off, say, 1/2 inch with some scissors to make sure that they sit below the frame, because we're going to have the top plate that wants to be welded on there. Now we can get our precast and make sure that the smooth side is down, and you'll see the taper is bigger on the top, and that should just fit in nicely. And now we can get our 1/8, 2 pieces of refractory, and we'll put our first one in. And this one we might have to trim a little bit because of the side refractory. So we'll trim that just to make sure it sits flat on the top precast refractory plate. Make sure that fits in. And then we can get the other 1/8 sheet. And if you need to trim that, you may have to trim it a little bit, but it should just fit right on top. And then we can put on our steel plate with our cutout for our ribbon burner. And we'll prepare that to get that welded. So I just put some clamps on. You can put some weights on just to hold it down. Try not to put too much stress on the cast refractory plate from underneath. We don't want it cracking. And what I like to do with this is put some tacks on the corners. And then I'll do a nice weld right where the cutout is across, because that's going to really get the most heat. So we don't want that flexing too much. So I'll put that there. And then I'll rotate it around, do the same on the other side. 2 corner tacks. And a weld across. And then I'll give it some stitch welds on the sides. We don't really have to fully weld the top. I like to make it just so it holds together. And if I need to replace something, I can easily just take a zip cut and cut those tacks off and pull the top plate off. Now I want to trim that refractory to make room for the ribbon burner, and I'll just do that with an X-Acto knife or a scissors. Cut that out, and then I can try my ribbon burner, make sure it fits in there properly. So now we have our forge all together, and we're gonna have another video on how to set it up, how to get the heat running, and how to get it worked in. Now, if you wanna purchase one of these, please message me at bonifabcustom@gmail.com, and I can tell you pricing and shipping of one of these units. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and all your support, and don't forget to subscribe with more videos. Thanks.